Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Well, here we are with another Prepper Pantry video. What to cook using your preps. You'll have seen these loads of times in previous videos. Cans of hot dogs. Well, apart from the obvious use of eating them as they are, with some vegetables or rice or whatever, what else can you do with them? Let's find out. So here we are in the kitchen. Got the ingredients and a few utensils laid out. Essentially all we're going to use for today is a bowl of warm water with 3/4 of a cup warm water in there. Not boiling, but fairly warm. Some flour, plain or bread flour, some sugar. I've got some butter in there which will be melting later on to use as an ingredient. You should be familiar with this from previous videos. Some yeast, some bicarb of soda, a couple of small sachets of salt, courtesy of a fast food outlet. I always collect those while I'm there. And the main ingredient, which love or hate, is these hot dogs. So let's get cracking. We've got our bowl of water. As I say, there's 3/4 of a cup of warm water inside the bowl already. Into that we're going to add half a tablespoon of sugar, fairly generous half there. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. There's probably just under a teaspoon in this sachet, so I'll use the best part of the second sachet, but I don't want it too salty. Give that a little bit of a stir around, and into that we're going to add a teaspoon, just slightly over, let's call it a little bit of a raised teaspoon of yeast. We'll just give that a little bit of a stir, make sure everything's mixed in. You don't want anything sticking to the side of the bowl, wasting the ingredients. Apologies for the noise there. We'll just a little bit of a stir and then leave that to settle for about 5 minutes while we get on and do something else. So I'll just pop that to one side for now. What we can be doing while we're waiting is we can open the can of hot dogs and we'll just get those dried out a little bit. We don't want them covering in. Do that over the sink so I don't spray everywhere. Just get a little drain those off. Get our trusty board and some tissue paper or paper towel. And then all we're going to do, I've got a little bowl to pop those into. The joys of live on camera. That will do for now. Just pop those onto paper towel. And then we'll get another piece of towel, and all we're going to do is just one by one roll them in the paper towel to dry them off. They'll have the advantage of being in the air as well while we're waiting for our yeast to activate. Almost there. And the last one. So we'll just let those sit there, dry off. While we're waiting for that yeast, give it the 5 minutes. I'll just pop that into the microwave just to melt that, and I'll pop away the other ingredients that we've been using. So I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes once that's done. Okay, so we've got our 30 grams of melted butter. What we need now, into a bowl, we need 2 cups, just slightly over 2 cups of our flour. Cup's too big to go inside properly, so I'll scoop it out with a spoon and measure it into the cup. Live video, this is where it goes everywhere. There we go, there's one. And do another one. Just a tad. There we go. So, that's the flour. We can get rid of that now. Come back to our original ingredients. Make a little well in the middle. In goes the butter. Actually, better off with a fork for this part rather than a spoon. You remember the mix of the warm water and yeast, sugar and salt. That goes straight in there as well. And now all we're going to do is stir that up to form a dough. No great science in this really. You could do it with a machine, but to be honest, I can't be bothered getting the machine out. And it does blend together, the bits that don't escape anyway, it does blend together fairly easily. So you can see there it's blending together nicely to form a dough ball. I'll just give that a couple of minutes, literally a couple of minutes of stirring, just to get it all in together. And then all we're literally going to do with that is cover it with some cling film and leave it to rest for an hour. If you think it's too dry, this is looking a little bit dry, you can just add a little bit. We don't want it to be too sloppy. A little bit of water. Yeah, it's better, it is actually blending together better now. You are just literally moving it around the dish. You can feel it start to tighten up, which it is now, and becoming quite sticky. Okay, get my trusty spatula, just fold in anything that happens to be left on the edge. So you've got a nice dough ball in the middle, and then we'll just cover that in some cling film. If we can find the end. Again, the joys of doing it all live. There's always one bit that doesn't want to come off, isn't there? There we go. Cover that over and just let it rest there for an hour. It's best to put that somewhere that's fairly warm, so if your kitchen isn't quite warm enough, all you can do is pop it in the oven with just the light on in the oven, and it can sit in there. And because it's night time now and we are starting to cool down in here, that's what I'll do. I'll pop that in the oven just for the hour with the oven light on only. You don't want to cook it, and we'll come back to that once it's done. Okay, so we've let our mixture sit just in a warm place for an hour, just to let it rise a little bit. It won't be like bread where it rises dramatically. So we've got everything ready. I've got a bowl of warm water there. All I'm going to do is take some bicarb of soda, or baking soda, whatever you want to call it, and pop in 3 tablespoons into the bowl. Pop that to one side. Give that a bit of a stir. And that can just be merrily fizzing away whilst we tackle the dough. Just got a bit of olive oil, pop it onto the board, just spread that around a little bit just to stop the dough from sticking. See if we can ease this out gently without making too much of a mess. It's actually not coming out too badly. Just a thought, it would help to grease the bowl when you actually do this, make the mixture, but it's come out nicely without. So, now for the fun part. We've got our dough. All we need to do now is to form it so that we can wrap our hot dogs. So let's take some pieces, and simply all you're going to do, stretch these out. You can try and roll them. I think it might run a little bit overboard with the oil on the board, but not to worry. So just taking our sausage, hot dog sausage, and we're just going to form this around the hot dog sausage. Make little spirals When you get to the end, just chop off the excess and pop it onto. I'll actually put some baking paper onto this tray. As we put them into there, just dip it in the baking soda mix and repeat. So rather than watch me doing all of these, I'll pause the video and come back when I've done all of the sausage rolls. So that's little hot dogs done. There's enough mixture there to do almost double the amount that I've done, but I just wanted to use the 1 can up. So that's going to go into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes at 230 centigrade, 450 Fahrenheit. If you've got a fan oven, obviously you're going to have to adjust the temperature or the time to compensate. But we'll pop those in and we'll take a little look back shortly to see how they're getting on. Well, we're about 7 minutes in and they're looking very nice. Just give them a few minutes more and they'll be ready to come out. Well, there we are. There's our Pretzel Hot Dogs sausages out of the oven. You can have them with a little bit of a dip, whether that's ketchup or mustard or whatever. Just take a little pop inside and see how that looks. Very nice actually. It's a little bit hot, but I'm going to give it a test drive anyway. So, bon appetit. Well, for a first time effort, that's not too bad. I probably did leave them in for 1 or 2 minutes too long because they were a little bit brown. But in terms of texture and taste, very, very happy with those. And a bit of a different way to use the hot dog sausages that everybody complains about preppers having in their long-term food storage. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of use to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. What about long-term food storage and doing something a little bit different to stave off the boredom of living on your preps? If you've got any ideas for recipes, feel free to drop me some comments in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.